As soon as I go live, the telephone starts ringing. Alright, that doesn't sound like anything important. Okay, I do not know how to live stream still after all these years. um It sounds like it's on. That's good enough for me. I am going to start doing game dev things. Um how do I put text on the stream? That's a little big. Alright, that looks good. So I should probably go and take that link, throw it on the old social media, and then we can get started with the level design. Okay, is this thing on? Everything's on. YouTube is having a moment. I'm just gonna let the YouTube stream dashboard do its thing. So I've for the benefit of anybody who's been following this tower defense series, I've made a few changes. Nothing super major. Off recording, mostly involving instead of loading GameMaker models from the file system, I'm now loading just vertex buffers, which should mean that the game is going to load slightly faster. And also, I've added a bunch more. I've added pretty much the rest of the Kenney 3D models to the game. So this is the title screen. You can move around the title screen. That should probably not be allowed. I think that's something that I'm going to to take care in the future. Today I just want to do level design. Level 1 works, and while I'm on the subject of things that I'd like to take care of at a future date, the camera is at a little bit of a low angle on the title screen, and that carries over into the map, and that's probably something that I do not want to actually happen. So I will write these down on the to-do project list as things that I'd like to do later. Shouldn't be allowed to move around on the title screen. Camera position should reset, and there was one more thing that was kind of bugged me, which was that when you, for example, when you say quit game to title, it just goes back to the level select instead of the menu screen, which is instead of the main menu screen, which is I think preferable. I don't remember if I actually did that on purpose, or if that was just something I wasn't paying super close attention to, but yeah, okay. I would not like to quit, no. Instead, I would like to go into edit mode. And being able to raise the camera for edit mode is also something that would probably come in handy. Scrolling through. Scrolling through these objects. First, it might make sense to work on like path nodes. And use that to outline the level. Are path nodes like drawn when you're just like not in path editing mode? I don't remember. Let's see, what are the flat stones? The flat stones were like the ones that I was using to denote the path like visually. So oh, this is a long scroll. This is a long list. There's like 300 objects in here. I just realized that the stream is still set to unlisted. Now that I am live, it should probably be set to public. That's awkward. We're off to a good start. Okay. So save early, save often is the theme here. I still need some path stones, and I will start drawing once I have those. Flat A and flat B and flat C, I think, were the stones that I was using to denote paths. Okay. The first level is sort of the ideal tower defense level, and it has a lot of loops and crosses over so that you can hit the track multiple times at the same tower. I think the first 3 will be in that vein, each of them. And do those not have the vertex color on them? That's slightly concerning. Do any of these have vertex color? Those have vertex color. The rocks do not. Oh, was it? Okay, so it was those that I was using earlier. Okay. Small flat A and B and C. Okay. Crisis averted. Let me draw. I think I'll have this one start in like the upper corner also. And we can use something like that to denote the starting point. And then we can have the all of the enemies sort of spreading out from there. Boy, I'd actually, a couple weeks ago, I'd actually drawn out on a piece of paper tracks and also like themes for levels, and I do not know what happened to that piece of paper, which is sort of the story of my life. But I think we will let's go in a loop. And perhaps from there another loop. And there's the other stone shapes I can be using too. The collision on these is a little bit weird. I remember that was annoying me a little bit. But that's one loop. We'll go in another one. There is flat A, B, and C as far as design goes. That's sort of a small loop. I think maybe the second loop can be a little bit bigger. And because this is a level editor that I put together in like probably the span of about 2 hours, it's a little bit awkward. These are very like linear and close together, and I don't think I like that. Alright, so that's the general shape of the track. Yeah, momentarily I'll add the actual path nodes first. That's going to be the end of the track. And that'll be the general shape. Hello, Red Dragon. Should probably save this periodically. This is going to be what? Level 2. Good, it didn't crash. I like it when it doesn't crash. So I will still fill in this path a little bit because it's a little bit of a straight dotted line in places. And it's not super clear where it goes at all times, which is something that I think would be beneficial. Okay, 161 total rocks, and we have like only outlined the path. That's a lot. This is the sort of thing where, as far as performance goes, fusing everything in the level together is definitely, definitely ideal. Hello, Radim Leishman. I'm not good at saying names some of the time, but I think that's what that says. All right, I think that's enough for the stones. Let's see, path nodes. spawning a path node. We're going to start here, and I am just going to follow the dotted line, and we're going to go in a circle, and then in another circle, and we will end in there. Okay. That's our path. Let's see. Once again, F1 to save. And if I were to just like exit that and start playing, we should have things following the path, and I can do the whole I cannot build. There is no space available for building. That's concerning. Not what I want to do, but okay. Anyway, I'll worry about that later on. This is going to be level design day. The enemies are following the path, which is what I'm interested in. If I can cancel this, can I cancel this? I cannot cancel this. Why am I not? I'm not even able to build like out here. That's weird. Something wrong with some code somewhere. All right, regardless, this is going to, let's see, if I go back to the title and re-enter that level, we do not, oh, you know what? I know why that is. Because, that file was saved in the game project files and not in local storage, so the actual game during runtime wouldn't be able to see it. There we go. Still can't build anything, that's annoying. The next order of business, I think, would be taking some trees. I have a lot of trees. The first map uses a lot of the I think they're like called oak trees or something like that. I might go with a different sort of tree detailed cone. Tree blocks. Okay, so that's those. Those are nice. Block dark, block fall. There's a couple different tree designs in this set. These are small. Compared to the other things in here. Boy. Remember the trees being bigger. Guess not. Anyway, I've expressed interest in the blocky trees, so let me get rid of all these and let's first draw a border. The stage area, so the main grassy area, that's mostly for my benefit, so I can see where the where the extents of the playing field should be. Later on, I'm probably going to add actual terrain to make it not look like we're just playing on a tabletop floating in space. Boy, these trees are all really small. I'd like to momentarily take a look at some of the other maps and see if all the trees were that small in those also. I could programmatically scale these up by like 50%. Let me save this again. We go to level 1. Yeah, these trees are bigger. These trees are definitely bigger. I think the rocks might be bigger too. Do all the rocks have a scale of like just 50% applied to them? Um, oh, right. Hello, cat. Um, a height map for a cube. Alright, now everything's scaled up. Ooh, wow, this is dense. Now everything's scaled up. I'm not 100% what you mean by height map for cube. Alright, first, I'm going to remove some of these because this is way denser than I wanted to. If you mean just generating a cube through code, you need 6 sides, and you can think of that as basically the same shape on the X, Y, and Z axis. Not entirely sure what you mean by a height map with a cube though, because generally that would be something like a flat plane like this that you a grid like this, and each cell in the grid has a height value. I thought it seemed like there was a high object count for a relatively empty level when I was first putting these down. But yes, that would did not want to spawn a bed. That would the fact that everything was half the size than as it should be would explain that. I did write this room editor, if you can call it that. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And especially over here at the beginning, everything is seriously piled on top of each other. Alright, good enough. Okay, you have created a cube with code, but you need 6 height maps for each side. Do you mean textures? Still not sure what you mean by height maps. These trees are also rather dense. They also seem to have spawned at about the same size. There should be a little bit more variation in size than that. What do the palm trees look like? Not going to use them here, but okay, so those are indeed palm trees. That can be some other level. Okay, and we have the blocky trees with different like shades of green. Okay. It's also very dense. Which I suppose is okay around the periphery of the level. There's a few trees with like leaves of different colors. I won't add too many of those. I'll just scatter a couple in just so that it's not all the same color here and there. These should probably not be so close to the track because that will make visibility a bit of a problem. It's a little better. I'll extend the stage a little bit later on once this is closer to being finalized. This is more the object count that I was expecting. Closer to about several hundred with the path and most of the peripheral trees filled in. Make random terrain, use a height map to move vertices to make hills. Yeah, that's what a height map is. I'm not sure where cubes come into that. So I would, if I were to do that, I would start with a grid and then create either, depending on what exactly you need, either a triangle strip or just a triangle list, like a triangle mesh, connecting each of the vertices with X and Y set by just the coordinates in the grid, and the Z being the value in the grid, which is the height. If you want to actually like tear holes in the terrain, that gets a little weirder, and make like tunnels and stuff, that gets weirder when you're trying to do a height map, but if you just want like something that you can render to an image that will save the height information of a bunch of each vertex in a terrain or something, that's just, you take a grid and then you connect the points with some sort of triangle mesh. That's probably enough trees. There's like 300-ish total things currently. And Now the smaller scale decorations start coming in. Is there like... Does Kenney's nature set include like a pond? Or something? I don't think it actually does. No like puddles or anything. So if I want something like that, I would have to either search one of his other collections or just make it myself. Although that one has a river. Although, oh, those are the river pieces up here. All right, I'll start with just other things. I believe there are some things that were like tents, and that could be a fun bit of level design to have, like around the end of tracks. The insects are coming through and invading. That sort of thing. Closed is one of these. Okay, so it's with the flap, like with the flap closed. Okay. And I believe there's also some campfire sort of objects. I need a better way of scrolling through these than by hitting F4 and F5 a million times. Campfire, planks, logs, bricks, stones. I'm just gonna steal some ideas from his demo screenshot. Can I zoom in on this a little bit? No, it's just 918 by 515. Okay, so there's a couple other things. There are like fence pieces. There's like the bedroll that I kept placing down by accident earlier. There's some other plant types like grasses and that sort of thing. Let's see, what are some cool looking plants? I probably do not need all of the, for example, the cliff types. Waterfall? Oh, that's if you want to... Okay. Okay, the selection area on that is a little weird. Crops, corn, in case I want to do a farm level or something like that. Definitely valid. Fence pieces probably also wouldn't be a bad idea for something like a farm level. Let me write that down. Is there like a scarecrow or anything in that collection by any chance? Anyway, here's all the flowers. I was having fun with the flowers in the first level that I designed. Grasses is mostly what I was looking for. I feel like I shouldn't crowd out the exit too much because then there actually won't be like space to build towers and that sort of thing, and that is not ideal. But maybe if I move this down that way a little bit, there can be space to set up a last ambush by the end. It's also there's something to be said for like grass doesn't really need collision. You can probably expect to be able to build towers over the grasses. Large. Okay, so that's a bigger cluster of the same thing. that back there, so. Let's see. I don't think that would be enough space to build a tower anyway. So I don't think that's like really getting in the player's way. I think places like here and here are more where you would be doing that anyway. There might be space inside the inside this loop here. Not sure. I'm going to use this mostly for decoration. Probably around the edges. Okay, so that is a sheet of grass. Ground is the, like the tiles. Okay. Not the level design I'm looking for. I'm going to be sticking with things like the grasses right now. And other sorts of plants. How many vertices do these each have? Each of these grass clusters. Let's see. In hindsight, not putting these trees like in the way so that I can't see earlier maybe I should have held off on placing those. Because it's a little hard to see under these things. Just a little. Yeah, here I had the right idea. I left a space for so that I could see through when I was laying this out. This is hard to see. Okay. Well, we've got ourselves a little bit of a clearing in here. It's a little weird the way the world just sort of cuts off at the edge, but again, eventually I will constrain the camera so that you can't just like fly off way off the edge of the map, and that's another thing I should probably write down, honestly. Hello, Dark Knight. Why is Juju Adams GitHub the first one that pops up when I type GitHub into the address bar? Okay. 1, let us save the map so far. 2, let us... Alright, that was the fuse button. I didn't mean to do that. That is not correct, sir. Okay, what happened there? Okay. The trees are fine. The campfires and everything are fine. The grass did not enjoy getting fused. What happened there? I also did not mean to actually do that. I didn't mean to hit F3. There should probably be a yes, no, do you want to? Okay. Whoops. the dumb hack that I added not too long ago to deal with the scale issue. Figured that would blow up in my face, literally. Okay, let us come in here, and if I say F3 in edit mode, we should be asked first before we do that, which is what we want. What exactly happened? So when you do this, there are 100,000 vertices in here. So when you do this, it looks like some triangles are like incomplete and they are running into each other. Some triangles seem fine. But most peculiar. That might be a bug to fix another day, because I do want this live stream to be like level design, because level design is more interesting than bug fixing, but what is it? Fuse map entities. Okay, so this is going through vertex by vertex, and it might be the case that I don't know if there's some weird edge case in the normals of the triangle. Maybe I want to like go triangle by triangle instead. Um, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60, 64, 68, 72. Like that. And then two and three. And then we can just add all these triangles all in one shot. If this doesn't work, I'll just come back to it later. Do not want to spend too much time on this right now. Also needed to use the update the normals appropriately. Is that going to prevent the grass from turning into spaghetti? I hope that prevents the grass from turning into spaghetti. Alright, level 2, edit, fuse, yes please, and... Okay, that seems to have fixed the problem. I should probably save over a copy. Level 2 test. Just in case that does not, like, in case that gets corrupted for some reason. Although I don't think it will. Let's see, is this gonna look good? This looks good. Okay, good. That fixed the problem. I'm going to undo that because I still want to work out of this file. And let's say commit fixed. Fix the fusing of map things, and alright, we can be on our way. I see there's a I should probably fill in this gap here, although that can honestly probably wait until like I've done a little bit more with the interior spaces, and there is I wouldn't be like blocking myself from adding stuff in the future, but let's see. I still want to add a little bit more grass in the middle now that I've figured out the issues with the what's just regular grass? Okay, that's those. That's like spiky grass. And more spiky grass and like weedy grass. Like that. Can place some more of it down. There's this is mostly cosmetic. Grass and other objects in the world would block towers from actually being built, so it would be, if there's too much of it, it would be restricting where you could build, and that in itself would be a way of modulating the difficulty of maps if you have a map with a lot of open space for building versus a map with only a few spaces for building. Especially if you blocked off areas where there is a crossover, like here. Let's see. I'm going to add a few of the spiky grasses, just for a little bit of variety, like that. And for some reason, this grass really makes me think of like ponds and wetlands and that sort of thing. The spiky grass looks like it would be growing out of like reedy things growing out of a pond. There are also all the flowers. What else are in the middle of the alphabet? So there are like water lily things. What's hanging moss? Okay, so that's something that would be growing like off of a rock. What's the collision on that? Collision on some of these objects is very strange indeed. Lilies, logs, log stacks. I'll put some of these down by the, ooh, that really is large. I'll put some of these down by the campground. Maybe like there. And also by the fire. Better. Logs, there's all the mushrooms. There are path wood? What's that about? Okay, so that's like, that, I could certainly see uses for that in a more swamp-like area. Plant, bush, that's those. Okay, more reedy things. Plant, bush, pots. Okay, so like a flower pot, not like a cooking pot. And there we are at the rocks. Okay. There are some other like bushy plants. I think I scrolled past them. Plant bush. I'm gonna add some of these also. Not a lot. Most of the small plant life in this particular map, I think, is gonna be in the form of grasses, but we can have some, especially by the beginning and end of the map. Just to mix up the plant life a little bit. Is that good for that? I think that's good for that. So there's also like mushrooms. This doesn't strike me as a like a fungus infested sort of location. I think I'm going to. Okay, those are water lilies. I think I'm going to focus on like flowers for the rest of this area. Purple flowers. These are in alphabetical order. I'm just going to dot some like flowers in the middle of this place. That is a little bit too close there. And then there's a bunch of other shapes. We could have flowers of different shapes and colors. Just for a little bit of color. Not a lot, because this looks like a shady sort of place, but what's that one? Like a poppy or something? Just for the sake of having a little bit of extra color. I swear these ones labeled yellow look very orange with the lighting on them. And it might be just that. It might just be mostly the lighting that makes them look like that, but they really look orange to me. Any other colors? That's it. Okay, so I think that's going to be mostly it for this. There's no... Might just add a little more grass. I'm gonna add some more trees down here to close off this like hanging area out there. Just to maybe break up this stretch of land for building towers a little bit. And down here. Trying to aim through the trees a little bit. Alright, this looks like it should work. I guess I could toss down a few more rocks too. Although the rocks, I've generally sort of adopted the tall stone sort of imagery as the start and the end of the track. So you know, maybe I should reserve that for the start, and then the end can just be the tents or whatever, the people camping. That might be easier to understand. I might switch to that. Go back to level 1 and add some tents in the into the level. Okay. Where are the rocks? The rocks, the stones, whichever. It doesn't really matter which I go with. I think I'll go with the rocks are the browner ones. The stones are the grayer ones. Ooh, that is really large. Okay. That is definitely on the bigger side. Kenney was not kidding when he named those large. Small, is there a medium? Small, flat are the paths. Tall are these. I think. Yeah, tall are the starting point. There's no medium. I guess I can always shrink them. Control and scale. Oh, that's Alt. I was holding Alt. There's a lot of rock designs here. That one's not too big. Or maybe it is a little big. That one's really big. That one is... These are reasonably small. Those all sort of look the same. Okay, I think that will... Not gonna have too many piles of rocks, just enough to break up the repetition of all the grass. Save compulsively, and boy, the 553 total things, the frame rate is really starting to go down. I really want to fuse this together about now. And there's just let me just add the last trees to close this part off. So trees should be the blocky trees right after the S's in the alphabetical list. Oh, there are so many of those. Tree stumps. I can play with tree stumps. I will not do that here. Tree blocks. Okay. That's probably going to be good enough. And they do all have a slight variation in scale. I thought I gave them I wrote the code to give them more variation in size, but apparently I didn't. And okay. Look good. 579 total things. Let us bake these together. 139,000. Is that vertices or triangles? Okay, so that is vertices. Make that message a little more helpful. And all right. That's the path. I think I will call it for this one. Let me just see if I actually can play this in terms of building towers. It still seems that I can't. I don't know why that is. If I were to quit back to the game and go back into level 1, am I prohibited from building here? I am not. Okay. Also, the path is like more sparse here for some reason. I did say I was going to... Fine. I did say I was going to put some like camping imagery in the first level. So let me just do that real quick. Tents. We're near the end. Tent detailed open. That's more or less what I'm looking for. Okay, so that's one with like posts. Let's see, what is it? Rotate you there. Campfires. What's the other? What's more of the imagery? The camping imagery. Campfires. I know there's a couple different versions of that. There's also like stumps and stuff you can sit on, I suppose. All right. That'll be a little more to level 1. Next up, I need a theme for level 3. I kind of want to do something with water, although if I wanted to do something with water, I would have to make a few changes to the map editor so that things like these ponds tiles and such can be added and they'd like snap in place. That might be a future video subject. I also mentioned doing like a farm area. What are the there are these like ruin like pieces in the middle here. Not entirely sure what those are supposed to be. They're like ancient ruins or something like that. Other types, there's desert, there's a couple cactus types, although there's not a ton of cactus types. That might not be the most interesting map visually to design. I could like I could toss out some cactuses, some grasses, and then, like, what else would there be? But that's an option. I definitely also want some terrain there that isn't, like, just a green sheet, like a grassy sheet. Farmland. I think I'll do farmland. Farmland can be level 3. Level 3 can be farmland. Alright. First, let's draw the path. Also, if anyone watching has any fun ideas for level themes, shout them out and we can see how that goes. Where is the rock, small, flat, whatever they're called? Oh, statues. I think those are the ruin types that I was looking at. Rock, rock tall, rock small, rock flat. All right. So again, let's start off in this corner, and I think I will not have any any loops, but I will have a little bit of back and forth with like 90-degree angles, which can also be good for tower defense strategizing. Since the inside of the curve you have more perimeter to hit something with your towers. Let's just do a bit of a zigzag, and then like in the middle there can be, obviously there would be space for building towers, but in the middle there could be like different farm things, farm types. Okay, let's mix it up a little bit with different sorts of shapes of path tiles. Something like this. It's not perfectly 90 degrees, but it's close enough. Small flat A, B, and C. All right, we're gonna be going in this sort of general shape. Hopefully this is enough variety that it doesn't look like I was just randomly placing stuff. Or that it looks like naturally scattered enough anyway, at any rate. Why you are camping in some farmer's field is beyond me, but the video game logic is a little strong with this one. Okay, that's the source. That's the termite mound source. I guess I'll put a couple taller rocks near the end also. The main thing to indicate that this is, oh, that's a nice one. Tall B is a nice rock design. The main thing to indicate the end of the path is going to be the campsite. Okay. Let's see, this is going to be level 3. There's a couple tent designs. I will try and vary them a little. Did I scroll past that? Tree comes after tent. Hang on. Must not have been paying attention. Tree pine, tree palm, tree oak, tree fat, tree detailed, tree default, cone, blocks, tent. Okay. Detailed open. Detailed closed. Alright, so we've just pitched our tents like right here. That's fine. That makes perfect sense. just right in the middle of some guy's cornfield. All right, now I need a I did have a campfire. Cactus, campfire, campfire logs, bricks, planks. There's a couple different types of these. I will try to make use of the different campfire types. Bricks? Okay, that's... go with bricks here. And path nodes. This one should be an easy shape to draw. We're gonna start in there, come down this way. These paths don't go in perfectly straight lines, but they're pretty close. We don't need a lot of nodes for this to work. Okay. And level 3. So if I were to exit the editor, and if I were to just send in waves, we should have things following. Indeed. Okay. I actually I'm not the hugest fan of this level editor that I've made. It works. It gets the job done, and it only took like 2 videos or whatever. But it's not pretty. I actually like the system for path nodes though. I feel like that worked out the way that I wanted it to. All right, that's that. I've lost a bunch of health because things got through. Let's exit path mode and let's start going with crops. Are those literally called crop in the model file names? Yes, they are. Okay, so we have several stages of corn. We have bamboo. Interesting. Are we farming bamboo? That might be a bamboo A, B, and... Okay, so there's like short bamboo and taller bamboo. That's corn. That's taller corn. That is tallest corn. That is corn with corn on it. Okay. I didn't realize there were so many stages of corn here. I like that. There's dirt rows, which is like, okay, that's yet to be sprouted. Couple of versions of that. I'm gonna put the fully grown corn in the back, and it will get progressively younger towards the front, and that's mostly going to be a for the purposes of being like visually appealing, so that you have like the tall kids in the back of the class photo and the shorter kids in the front. I was always in the front for the record of the class photos. Okay, so the versions without the corn on it are actually pretty tall also. Stage B, that's more like it. How many things are in this map? That like counter isn't here. All right, so that only shows up if there are no selected entities. Why? What is selected? Oh, if they're other way around. 157 things. Let's see. Short corn is probably going to be most of the space, and I think I will have the rest of this zone reserved for tower building. Okay. What other crops are there that we can have fun with? There's the dirt rows, and I can rotate that a little bit, and I can... When it comes to these, it would be nice if I could snap them and align them to the grid, because they look a little bit awkward when they're disconnected. I might not go with this. Okay. Let's maybe not do that, actually. Crops, leaf stage A, B, wheat, carrot, melon, pumpkin, turnip. Boy, that turnip is really sticking out of the ground. The carrot's sticking out of the ground, too. Oh, fences. Okay, that could be useful. Fence pieces. All right. Okay, so that is like not aligned to the origin of the model, which is a little weird. It's gonna make it hard to put it exactly where I want it to be. Why is it not? Oh, it's still moving. Come on, select. There we go. All right, that collision's at least where it should be. All right, so we have sort of a gate in front of these in front of this corn, so we're at least not being super weird about just setting up a campsite inside someone's farm. It's at least fenced off. Okay, theming. Hooray. Move you over this way. And last one. No. There. There is this corner piece, which I suppose is useful. Probably more so than this one. Let's get that out of there for now. Okay. I actually don't think I like this one. Not least of all because its selection box is weird. All their selection boxes are weird, honestly. Alright, that's good enough. Let's see, what's going in these other patches? So, I do like the pumpkin and melon designs. I think... Let's see. Wheat is obviously a bit of a staple on farm areas, both in real life and in video games. I might give wheat its own section. I think I'm gonna also give one of them the large fruity sort of things. Let's see. First, let's fence this off. I'm just gonna drop a couple of these and simple center. All right, then we can rotate them into place. Oh, these collision boxes. I want these to be sort of facing outwards just so that they don't accidentally get in the way of tower building. That's the one I said I didn't like, right? Okay, while I'm on the subject of fences, I will just... Yeah, I do think I like these fence designs the best. I will just add some down here as well. And that'll save me some time of trying to scroll through the list later. Did not mean to raise you above the ground. Oops. All right, this one's a bit of a disjointed mess. That's okay. This entire map is a little bit like reconnection successful. Okay, are we back? Internet? I do not know what just happened to the internet there, but apparently OBS had a bit of a moment. All right, I think it's back. Great, sorry about that. Not much happened, I don't think. But anyway, this is as I was saying, this is a bit of a like asymmetric, uneven sort of old-timey farm rather than an industrial scale modern farm where everything is like built to a spec. And that's my excuse for everything not being on a grid and everything like that. Let's see, crops. I said I liked the melons and pumpkins. I think I will also put some of the grasses in here just to make it look like they're vines, and we don't just have pumpkins and melons growing out of the ground, because that would be a little bit odd indeed. Let's see. Some of these may be easier to drag to spawn outside. No, to spawn outside the fence and drag in than it would be to try to click and spawn them inside the fence. All right. Grasses. There's the flowers. There is grass, grass leaves, grass large, grass. All right. I don't know how familiar everyone is with like the vines that squash and melons grow on, but they don't look like this. But this is gonna have to do. I believe there is a bushy plant that would also work. Hang on, let me just add a couple more. Squash vines are cool. I don't really like squash myself, but the plants that they grow on are cool. I like them. I like melon vines also. Platform, plant flat. Okay. This is what I'm looking for. Again, not exactly what watermelon vines look like. But it communicates the point. What are some of the other ones? Flat short is this one. That's also sort of spiky. Bush triangle. Bush small. All right. Pumpkins can have differently shaped ones. Stop that. Oh my god. I keep selecting the wrong thing. This has a very finicky collision box. It might, if like auto-generating the collision shape of the world isn't working out, I might have to write something in later to just denote the buildable area of maps manually, as opposed to trying to generate them automatically with the placement of objects. But that's a consideration for another day, I think. No. Okay. So those are my turnips, my watermelons, my pumpkins, my watermelons. The other one that I was thinking of doing was actually turnips, and sinking them into the ground a little bit. Although with those being root vegetables, I might group them with carrots down here or something like that. Okay. Ground, grass, flowers. I could also toss down some flowers. I forget what color... Squash flowers I know are yellow. I forget what color melon flowers are. I think those might also be yellow. But... Alright, I doubt anybody's going to be checking. And I've already made enough, like, generous hand-wavy inaccuracies so that I can make something work with the Kenney models in this game, but I'll make the melon and the squash flowers yellow. I like the way that looks. YouTube stream dashboard has no idea how many people are watching this, and therefore neither do I. It keeps bouncing between like 7 and 0. And oops, I have no idea what the accurate number is. Seems like it periodically like refreshes and takes a minute to show numbers again. Like right there, it just like instantly reset to some non-zero number. Anyway. I think I said that happens sometimes. I'm not sure what causes it. I think, am I trying to spawn something? Am I trying to spawn something outside? Outside the map, and is that causing it to like break? Am I trying to spawn something when the mouse cursor is not over land or something? I suspect that might be what it is. Line 747. If position camera.getFloorIntersect can be... This can be undefined, can't it? Yeah, that can be undefined. Okay, so I should really put an undefined check over this. And that should prevent the game from crashing if I try to spawn an object in the sky or something. Here we are. The flowers are gone because I did not save that, actually. And if I were to... would go back to flowers. If I were to just spawn a flower in the sky... I should no longer be crashing the game like that. I do want to do something with the bamboo. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with bamboo. Let's see, flower, flower yellow. And if I were to spawn one out there, it's fine. If I were to spawn one up in the sky where there is no floor intersect, it will no longer crash the game. Okay, good. Not crashing the game is what I like to see. We're going to move you in there. The farmer must be happy. There's probably going to be more pumpkins up and coming. And let's just use like flower C for the melons. I know that's like a tulip or something, but who's not a farming simulator. It's not super important as long as I can make something work with the Kenney models. All right. So we have that. I will go back to wheat. I know I went past it. Okay, here we are, and wheat. I think I'll do the same thing. So the tall stages of wheat will be in the back row, and then the shorter stages of wheat maybe in the front. And that way it's just easier to read a little bit. Actually, you know what? Do I really need short stages of wheat? Not really. I don't know if... Does it really look better to have this the way that it looks better to have corn in stages? I guess. I do want to have a... I do want to have the root vegetables. Alright, let's plop down a few more fences. Fence simple, I think, was the one that I was mostly using here. Let's rotate you into place and just go like here. Alright. this should be adequate space for crops such as carrots and turnips. Okay. That's the last one. And carrots. I'm going to sink these into the ground a little bit. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. And I can move them around with the arrow keys. That helps. All right, let's... That's actually easier than trying to reposition that manually. Again, somewhat deliberately uneven. Not like super deliberately, but just enough that it looks like someone tossed down some seeds instead of like going out there with a some industrial scale farm equipment and putting everything in nice, neat, optimal rows. At least have a little bit of the carrot poking up over the ground. Keeping an eye on the total thing count in the map. Generally, I want to keep it around 500 or so. I think level 2 has about 600 or so. Generally about 500 or so things in the map and 100-odd thousand vertices is where I would like to keep things for this game. That should be a reasonable expectation to at least have it running at like 25 frames per second on something like a Raspberry Pi, and if it can run on that, it can probably run on most computers. Turnips, melons, pumpkins, turnips. Okay. Also known as rutabaga, depending on where you're from. I'm pretty sure rutabaga is turnip. Is turnip the brassica? I think it's rutabaga. What's a brassica? Is that like, that might be one of the more leafy vegetables. You know, that's gonna bother me. After I finish planting them, I'm gonna go look up what exactly a brassica is. All right. Anyway, that is the farm. The next step is to save compulsively, and the step after that is to find out. Pretty sure rutabaga is a turnip. All right, that is indeed a turnip. Oh, it's both. Cool. It's related to the cabbage. There are turnips that are hybrids of like regular turnips and cabbages. That's weird. All right, cool. I know my vegetables. Let's see. Continuing. I am next interested in trees. To make the border of the level with. Let's see. This live stream has been going on for about an hour and a half. I'm probably going to do this for about, I want to say I'm aiming for 3 hours or so. So maybe we're halfway through. I'm not entirely sure what the themes of the other levels are going to be. If I can continue this pace, we're probably going to get at least 3 levels designed today. Tree tall. All right, so these are like the Italian poplars. I don't know if I want to have an entire the main tree in an area using these. I might have a couple, but I don't think I want too many of them. All right, those are very regularly spaced. Let's not Let's leave the bottom open for now. Let's not have them too regular. All right. Tree tall, dark, tree tall, tree thin. Okay. That's more what I had in mind. So let's plant a bunch of these tree thin types. And I'm also probably going to toss down a bunch of like tree stumps and stuff in the with the intent of making it look like some trees were cut down to make room for the farm, something like that. I may, you know, instead of planting trees out in front here, I may just make this entire, like the entire bottom border open for purposes of visibility. I've already fused the past maps. I can go and like remove pieces of them because I still have the source files. I think I do anyway. Tree thin dark. All right, some variety in the tree types. I believe there's also going to be tree thin like autumn. I might make a bit more of a well-defined tree line here. Again, to make it look like a section was clear cut to make room for the farm. There's a lot of space for things like environmental storytelling, even in stuff like tower defense maps. Which is something I've noticed in playing other tower defense games that I enjoy. Kingdom Rush and Gemcraft and the balloon game and that sort of thing. Is that you can always just have a set of abstract shapes to define your tower defense maps, and certainly a lot do. A lot of the earlier ones, especially on the like the congregates and that sort of thing, have tower defense maps that are abstract shapes and such. But there is a lot of room if you wanted to, and I will scatter some of the I will scatter some orange trees in as well. There's a lot of room if you want to do environmental storytelling and that sort of thing. Let's see, we're up to 459 total things. I think maybe about 100 or so more is all I really want to add. I can add like the bushy plants, the grasses. I don't really have a lot of those right now. Level 3. Just saving that. Where are the grasses? Got to scroll past the crops. Scroll past the fences. Flowers. Grasses. Leaf large. Alright, so let's... do I like that? I want the bushier leafy plants, which I believe were... No, not those. I think those were just called plant. Also, while I'm here, logs. Log stacks. Sure. Okay. Let's line those up just a little bit. Again, to make them look like they were placed a little bit more deliberately by someone who was actually working here and had at least a plan in their mind. Large stack. Something that looks more like this. All right. Is there regular like freestanding logs? There is. Again, let's plant that around the campfire a bit. Frame rate is starting to go down. Paths, plants, plant flat. What was the one? Bush triangle, bush small, bush triangle large, bush detailed. Okay, bush detailed is a good one. I think I will go primarily with these for this map. And, of course, I'm sure weeds are something that the farmers will try to avoid having, so maybe keep them away from the planted areas. Although I suppose in some respects, it looks sort of like the turnip plants before they've emerged from the ground. Although, you know what? If I wanted a turnip plant that hadn't emerged from the ground, I can just like sink them beneath the earth a little bit, like that. Let's do the same for the carrots. I initially wasn't going to do that for the carrots, but it does look good, I think, to have a couple that look like they haven't quite they're not quite ready for harvesting yet. All right. I would like eventually to name these levels in ways other than like level 2, 3, 4, whatever, and I could actually name them like on the farm or in the bog or whatever it happens to be, at the beach, in the desert, that sort of thing. I wonder what the last one would be. The final level of sorts. Okay, I do wish there was... Is there, like, a tiny tree? I want to say there's a tiny tree. Like a bush-shaped tree or something like that. Okay, so there are some smaller trees. I will plant some of the smaller trees, and that'll have something in the front here, but it won't be big enough to obscure the vision. Tree... Is the tree fat? Is there a smaller one? Palm bent, yeah. Pine ground, pine round. Pine default. There's a lot of pine trees. Very nice. Plateau, plateau dark. Those are the acacia. Tree small, okay. Alright, so we have a couple. We've got tree small and we've got like tree fat, which... I don't know, those are still a little bit big. I might not. I could always like sink them below the ground, like I was doing for the turnips. All right, well, because I can't make up my mind, let's just go back to bushes, bush detailed or plant detailed or whatever it was called. And this is also the matter of the tree stumps. Oh, you know what? Signs. It's not that you can actually like make out what this says, but I suppose I could like give it a special texture that says like that has an actual message that you can actually read on it. Let's put that one by the fence. Or I can make it look like something silly, like, I don't know, no bugs allowed, or something goofy like that. Like the no goose sign from Untitled Goose Game. Oh, you know what? The flower pots. Flower pots sort of are sort of at home here. All right, let me add a couple flower pots. One, let's say 2 larger ones, 3 larger ones, and a couple smaller ones. And we can stick some actual like plants or flowers or whatever in there. Plant bush large. Let's see. I can come up a little bit. Perfect. This can come up a little bit. Bush detailed was the one that I like. And I think the rest of them will have flowers in them. Like that. Let's see. We can have a couple smaller ones too, sure, why not? Is this weird? Is this clump of plants here just a little weird? I think I'll spread them out a little bit towards the back in the at the edge of the forest. I wasn't initially going to do that, but the more clumps I add, the weirder it looks when they're like standing on their own. Okay, and it gets denser around the part with the flower pots, as if it's a little bit unkept. As if it's been a little bit gone to seed. Maybe some of the seeds from the flower pots have spread out from their original containers. That one is right on top of the other one, and it's not really an optimal use of triangles. Okay. Again, there's plants growing in front of the logs. It looks like this hasn't been very well maintained in recent days. Okay. There are stumps. I also said stumps. And then I really just need to fill in this bottom part. I'm not planning on really putting down a ton of rocks. Stone tall, stump old tall. Alright, we can have a couple tall ones. Most of them are probably going to be of the short variety. Stump round. Round detailed, which is really the same as round, but with a couple extra protrusions jutting out. Square. It's another shape. All the trees in this in Kenney's nature set are really really square in some way or another on the stems anyway. Boy, I really want to have trees here, but I really do feel like it obscures your vision. I'll just I'll just go with grasses. All right, whatever. And then that'll be it for this map. My finger is getting tired from mashing the F4 and F5 keys. Plant, flat, alright. Just go with a bunch of these. And again, I might adjust the other maps in a little bit just so that there aren't trees in front of your view, but it is not of utmost importance. I wonder, can I have like a night map with like a dimmer light and a darker ambient color or something? That might be fun. Alright, I think that's going to do it. So I'm going to save level 3, then we are going to fuse all of this. Unable to convert string vertices to float. Did I not do it right? Oh, this needs to be string. Okay, typecasting. Thanks, GameMaker. I'll just undo that last commit and fold it in again. Let's see. What next? Oh, you know what? Level 2 is already... Okay, I did not save the source of that. That might have been a problem. Alright, whatever. I'll just roll with it. And we will go to level 3, and that's the farmland. And yes, please. Boy, okay, that's a... I was expecting, since a lot of the entities in here are just like grasses and turnips and whatever, that this wouldn't have as many vertices as some of the other ones, but that's a bit much. That's a little more than I really want, I think. I'm gonna save this. Level 3.bug. Let's see. I'll also... Am I really still in like rm_test? This entire game is taking place in the test room. I'm going to go into the level select and give each of the things in it actual names. Let's see, let's hide the results screen. The level select variables, instead of level 1, we can have like the woods. What was the other one? Level 1 and 2, I really like the woods. Three is definitely the farm. I'm thinking of maybe doing like cliff sides for level 4, and then leaving that where it is for the stream. This is really... Should I play up the campsite aesthetic a little bit more in level 1 and just call it like the campsite, and then level 2 can be the forest or something like that? I guess so. Okay, so let's scroll through this for some more campsite adjacent objects. There's always like the logs that you can sit around and toast marshmallows on or something like that. There's a lot of flowers in this one. This could be like a flower field. I think I'll do a flower field for a different canoe, a different level. I do want to have a dedicated like flower field. Boy, to imply that there's water somewhere. Don't know if that's the clearest theming, but yeah, I don't like that. So I don't think there's anything that's actually like a cooking pot in this nature set, is there? There's always the bedrolls. I could always just have a couple of those. And tree stumps and stuff. Are there tree stumps in here yet? I don't think so. All right, let's several hundred models. Campfire, cactus, bridge. Bed, floor. All right, sleeping under the stars. We would prefer to be able to do that without a horde of a very determined insects charging through. It's not quite what I had in mind for like a camp sort of a bed material, but it'll do. There's also tree stumps. We can have a couple of those cut down for firewood or something. Speaking of which, it's awfully close to the actual campfire zone. I know there's logs in here somewhere. Log, okay. Logs. Rotate you. Shrink it down a little bit, scale it down to make it a little bit more. So for that matter, I can shrink this too to make it look a little bit more like something that someone would actually want to sit on. All right. And this is level 1. Okay. So level 1 can be the campsite. Level 2 can be the woods. Level 3 can be the farm. 4 cliff sides, did I say? A bit afraid to start the series because 3D looks way intimidating. Is there another series you recommend? None that I'm aware of. Honestly, part of the reason that I started the whole 3D and GameMaker series to begin with, or maybe I should say restarted it, is because people were telling me how little there was out there on the subject. I don't know if that's changed in the last year and a half, but for the... Should I call it like the ravine or something? The canyon? There are a few things like Sindre Larsson's SMF system, which I don't know if I'd say that's simpler to set up because there's a lot more out of the box, and it's another code base that you have to learn to use. It exists. It might be worth a look. Gonna name some of the levels. Hello, Army. Okay, so these levels now have names. Alright, the canyon is probably going to be mostly rocks. Alright, first let's start the way that we always do, by laying out the path, which is going to be flat rocks. And then we'll start building stuff around, up around it. Maybe with a few trees. But probably not many, probably mostly rocks. Stones. The stones are the gray ones, right? As established, yes. Rock tall. I think rock tall B I said I liked. I guess I'll start out all of the levels in like this corner. Maybe scale it up a little too. Because that's gonna be like the whole thing for this level. Is big rocks, and you're looking down from above. And the flat ones. Okay, so small flat is the actual path. This is... I'm thinking of setting it up so that like the first 3 levels are easy, the second 3 level are medium, the 7 through 9 are hard, and 10 through 12 are like difficult. So I might start to make the path a little bit less helpful now. Maybe instead of looping around a lot and having a long track, we're just gonna... What am I even doing here? We'll still have some twists and turns in it, but there won't be loops. There won't be anything extremely helpful, like a lot of nice curves to have a lot of perimeter on. Like this wedge shape here could have its uses. Probably down here you have a lot of space to build towers, but maybe towards the end of the track that is not so much the case. Using different rock types. There's A, B, and C. I intend on making use of all of them. Alright, so that's the shape of the path. Next, let's actually go and lay down the path. You can start by doing something like this. Maybe I'll add a couple more slabs over there, who knows. Nice easy curve. And the end is gonna be over here. We will build the campsite there. Let's first save this level 4. And if I were to exit the editor and send something in, we can see how this would okay. Alright, great. That looks more or less the way it's supposed to. Let us build the endpoint now. That's going to take the form of... I really want to do something with the ruins, like the statues and stuff. Where's the tent? Did I pass 10? I think I passed 10. Tent detailed closed. Alright. Tent detailed open. the open side. Let's have the open side be easily visible. Let's have them sort of arranged around, like here. Like that. Still the matter of the other things like the campfire. I still kind of feel like I should put something a little bit more distinctive by the start of the path, so that you can instantly pick out this is where things are going to emerge from. The campsite by the ends of all the paths is definitely on the distinctive side, because it stands out against the other objects, but I feel like I still need something a little bit stronger. This is B, campfire starts with C. A little bit stronger around the end. Let's see. Cliffs. I kind of want to play with cliffs, but I think those are also like tiles. So I don't have any. I don't have anything that really snaps into place. So I think I'm going to be building, at least trying to build cliffs based on like the existing rocks. And I will use the gray rocks instead of the ones with grass growing on them, because again, theming. Fences, flowers, grasses, ground, which are also tiles, lilies, log stacks. Okay. Am I? Okay. Rotate the correct way. All right, that's that. Let's start to have a little bit of fun with the stones. Statues. I might throw in a statue just for fun here, but stones small. Let's start with stone large, stone tall. All right. So to speed this up a little bit, I'm going to save level 4.bug. I am going to exit, and I am going to write a little bit of extra code when you place something down, when you spawn an object, and that is going to be like multiplying the size by 4, and that should make things start out bigger, so that I don't have to like scale them all up myself. My finger is going to be sore tomorrow. Okay, stumps, stone tall, and that is... Alright, indeed. We have taller stones. That's a good place to start. I am going to, instead of playing with trees, I'm going to play with stones, and we're going to be like... And even on top of these, I will stack them on top of each other a little bit, so that it looks like we are inside an even deeper canyon or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. Is this too big? Maybe 4 times is too big, because there's no textures. None of this has textures. So there's not that, there's at least no, like, textures to be blown up and made blurry and that sort of thing when things are big, but it just looks a little odd to have, faces in the models that are so much bigger than everything else. That one's completely invisible. Maybe put you in the back. And we will definitely have the front open over here. Alright, so maybe something like this can be moved manually back and up a little bit. If I can, that wouldn't be weird, right? To have them like sitting on top of each other like that. I don't think anyone's going to be looking super closely to see if they're like disconnected slightly at the base. The important thing is that they're tall. And that we're sort of forming a, well, a canyon. And I think I'll also eventually, and maybe I should put this on the GitHub project board, I will add something so that the like the base color of the ground doesn't have to be green. Spawn that one far away, so I'm gonna have to move it bit of a distance. And up. Back. Yeah, that's it. Through the back row. Alright. Probably gonna layer these a little bit. Like the some of the other things and some of the other maps, so that things in the back are higher off the ground. How many of these large stone objects are there? There's quite a few. J is the 10th letter of the alphabet, so there are 10 variations of this. I don't quite want these to go like reach the sky high, but I want them to be high enough to make it look like there's we're at the bottom of a ravine. $138 total things, 139 total things. This is probably not going to be the densest populated map at the end of the day. And then, of course, we can have some big stones in the middle to like block off areas for building. Okay, are we getting there? I might go until there's like 160 total things in terms of the big rocks. Yeah, tall B I recall was a nice looking one because it's got a lot of pieces to it. It's also a little wider. Right now I'm just looking for where there's like gaps in the wall and you can see more of the sky beyond. Alright, designing a later on, when I get to doing terrain for this area, that should be fun, I think. You can't really see that. It's better. Let's see, there's still some gaps up over here. This is a much thinner one. Fill in that part of the skyline. All right, I think I'll just have a few more. One like over here. And maybe I do like tall B. This one maybe back here. And that one can rise a little bit more if I put it back without being weird. Okay. This is my ravine. If I reduce the automatic scale a little bit, I'll place down some of the same rocks, but they will be a little smaller and inside the actual map. Something like these. To block off building area maybe a little bit. Boy, they're really big. They sort of get in the way of each other. I will put a smaller one there. Don't want to have anything too big over here in the middle because that would make visibility a challenge, but maybe something like that. Okay. Okay, once again, let us save. I will get rid of the automatic scale in its entirety, and then we can just design the rest of the level as normal. And then I'm going to call it, because I've been going for 2.5 hours. Would like to get something to eat, and there are some other things that I need to do. Did that save? Okay, yeah, that saved. Good. There are some other things that I need to do, aside from live stream and game dev. Let's see. I said I would have, like, maybe a couple thin trees here and there. Nothing, let's move it back a little. Not too many. Thin, dark. Just so that like the idea of having a log isn't completely implausible. And just to break up the monotony a little bit. Okay. That might be it. Okay. Small grasses. So I think maybe like the small flat, like reedy grasses. Are probably what's going to be most of the rest of the things in this map. Crops, flowers, fences. Grass large? Grass large, okay. It's not implausible that you would have like these low growing grasses in here. Just maybe not too many like bigger things. I have a couple leafy grasses, but maybe like not too many of those either. There's also the hanging moss object, which I can actually maybe make use of here a little bit. That'd be neat. I'll see if that really works in a minute. Guess I can have a few flowers and things like flowers. Wow, that's all stacked on top of each other. I guess I can have a few flowers and things like flowers also. No rule against it, just I wouldn't go overboard with it. I'll put some more. I'll put some of the lower stones there. The flat ones. I do want to. The more I think about it, the more I want to have a better way of evaluating like collision and where is solid and where you can't build on the maps. I think maybe I'll spend some time in the future adding something to the editor where you like have an overhead view of the map, like completely top-down orthographic, and do those rocks up there have smooth shading, or am I going mad? Okay, so no, that's just a weirdly shaped face. You can like paint solid area around the map, something like that. We'll work it out. Let's see, mostly these small reedy grasses. I'll have a few that are like leaves large, but not too many. A little bit of natural biodiversity, I suppose you might say. And all right, maybe also a few scattered, like the other map had a lot of yellow flowers. The far map had a lot of yellow flowers. Let's give this one a couple like scattered red and purple ones. Looks nice. I'm glad you like it. I like the way these models look. They're some people get a little bit tired of low poly after a decade of indie games, but I like the Kenney models. I think they work in a lot of situations. Save. And there's actually 368 total things here. When I go to town with the grasses, those add up pretty quickly. I am looking for the flat rocks, which is going to be all the way at the other end of the alphabet. All the way at the other end of the alphabet. Stones are right before the trees. Stumps, stones. Okay, so stones small. There's stones flat too, right? Let's try small. How does this look? Alright, that's not bad. I will create some clusters of stones like this. Here and there. Is that one just like... Okay, no, I thought that one was hovering over the ground a little bit. I might want to lower that if that was the case. But It doesn't seem to be. These, I won't have as many of these. These stones with the little protrusions on top, they stand out a little bit, and I think I might not want to have too many of those too close together, because then it'll look like I just took a brush and like slammed a bunch of things down. Whereas the more rounded ones, I can probably get away with having more of them together because they don't look quite as distinctive. Fortunately, most of the rocks in the set fall into that category. Okay, so is there anything else? This is still very open in the middle. What do I want to do in the middle here? Not yet. What do I want to do in the middle here? Could have a couple more spiky grasses, just for the sake of having something. I don't know, that looks a little weird. I don't think I like that. I could just leave it open. This area in the middle isn't super useful for building because it's not near the track. And I feel like just having it open is a little bit... It makes it feel emptier. So maybe I'll just build another rock pile. I'll make it a lower rock pile. I won't make it one of the real tall ones, but... Stone large. Yeah, that works. A small-ish hill. I guess that's more or less what this is probably going to turn into. If I spawn some of these, that's vaguely hill-shaped. Raise them a little. And maybe stick some other rocks on top of that. Like so. And that shouldn't get in the way of the actual track. You should be able to still see the track from here, especially once I raise the camera angle a little for the actual game. And let's see, we have a hill. Okay, that works. Let me save level 4. Let me have a last look around to see if there's anything mostly that I want to remove, because once I fuse everything together, it gets difficult to remove stuff. I would have to do that by hand and hex editor. Nobody wants to do that. Very nice. I'm glad you like it. I've been looking forward to doing this. I'm probably going to do at least one more live stream like this, maybe next week or the week after or so. Alright, let's call it for this one. Let me fuse all that together. That is only, in air quotes, 123,000 vertices, which is half of what the other one was. Still surprised that took quite as much data as it did. Let me just... I'll write out what I have in mind for these other levels. I won't do them now. 5 can be flower fields. I do want to do something with flower fields. 6... If I were to look at the what's in here, do I want to try something with ruins? There's not a ton of... Actually, you know what? I'll look at what other 3D low poly asset Kenney has made over the years. Retro urban, I'm not sure. Oh, it's a city. Okay, so that's houses and stuff. So I can insert some houses. That might work. I might drop some of those in. I know there is a holiday which is like snowy areas. The nature set does not have snowy areas. Let me filter for 3D. So if I wanted snow-covered rocks or just something like that, there's not a ton of snow. It's mostly like pine trees, which I guess is valid. I could hang a wreath on a door, on like one of these or something. That's a possibility. I could assemble a couple buildings also using the modular pieces. Graveyard. Oh, graveyard sounds useful. I believe there's also a pirate land, pirate something, fantasy town, castles, which I would have to assemble in like Blender or something myself also, because I think that this almost entire thing is modular except for the siege equipment. Okay, got some fun siege equipment. And this was the other one I mentioned, which has some boats and that sort of thing. There's a lot to work with. All right, maybe graveyard. The next one can be graveyard. After the what's this one? 5. After the flower fields. 6. I believe I'm starting these all with like the as in like a title, so I guess I'll say the flower field as well. 7. I can have 2 beach levels, one that's like the beach just as it is, and one that's like the I don't know, the pirate cove. I don't really have thoughts on like a consistent world line that these levels go through. Like first you're in the grasslands, and then you're in the desert lands, and then whatever like typical video game fare. I'm just designing levels that I think are cool right now. The last one's probably going to be like Castle and Fantasy Town. Maybe I'll do Fantasy Town instead of like modern town, modern city. Again, I'll have to assemble those beforehand though, unless I want to end up doing that on stream, which, I could, but oh, I also did say the desert. Let's see, the last one, 12 can be the castle. Can be. Perhaps I will decide against the Winter Wonderland, because that doesn't really fit with everything else, and I don't want to just have a one-off. Funnily enough, he does have a tower defense set, but it's not. It's mostly like towers that are like predefined, and I'm not super interested in using. There are a bunch of tiles for designing paths and stuff, but I've kind of already developed a system for that based on the like the flat stones and that sort of thing. So I've sort of decided not to go with that. I can have 2 towns and then like before the castle. I can have the outskirts of town and then the city. All right. That will be my plan for level design for the next time and or times. Okay. Let me just make sure that I a few of these names are a little bit long. As in, like, they're overflowing the buttons. All right, 5 can be broken up into 2 lines, like that, and that should be good. I will leave it there. Okay, much better. They all fit. We can enter the maps. The maps work. All right. It's a lot of this path here by the beginning is a little bit denser than I really maybe would have wanted to. Let me say that I've got the names of the future levels and the levels that I worked on during stream. I will mark this as 0.48 because this is officially like part of this tower defense series. I will push that to the origin. I can now go and create myself a release 0.48. What was the other one? The farm. And the canyon. Okay. And this is a pre-release. Okay, so if you want to play around with this yourself, the GitHub repository should be in the video description / the live stream video description or whatever. Feel free to poke around, feel free to make your own levels, feel free to add your own 3D models or anything. I've sort of like non-committally said that if anybody wants to make a pull request on stuff that they added themselves, I'm not opposed to it. I might if someone's interested in that, run through with them real quick about like how to painlessly merge it into the code that's already there or something, or level design or that sort of thing. Otherwise, I'm bad at ending live streams. I'm bad at ending videos, but I'm worse at ending live streams. I try to post about 2 game day videos a week. One, let's make a tower defense game video. It's usually a pre-recorded video. It's usually not a live stream. And at least one tutorial. I have a Patreon, so if you're interested in contributing, there will be links to that in... I can't really say the end screen, because do live streams have end screens? I don't know these things. Anyway, it's around. And I will see you all later.